Welcome. Welcome to this restorative yoga practice, my darlings. Thank you so much for joining me. It's always a pleasure to have you here with me. This evening's theme is still going to be centered around self-love and self-compassion. And for tonight's practice, you'll need a bolster and two bed pillows, a chunky block or a couple of books. An extra cushion could be really nice, and a blanket for that kind of extra snuggly feeling, or if your room is a bit chilly, it's always nice to have a blanket close to hand. So if you need to go and get anything, go and get it now. It might also be nice if you have it close to have an essential oil with you. Completely optional. It just adds a nice little additional sensory experience as we drop into our brief meditation at the beginning of practice. So take a moment if you need to go and get anything else that you might need, and then come back and we're going to drop in to a seated meditation for a few moments just to center and arrive in the space. You can be seated any way that feels good for you. If you want to lean up against a wall, you can lean up against a wall. If you want to sit cross-legged, you can sit cross-legged. You can sit with your legs out straight, or you can kneel on something like I am. If you have an essential oil with you, just pop a couple of drops in your hand, and you might rub the hands together. Bring the hands up to the face and take a lovely, long, deep breath in. And a full breath out. Take a few more like that, whether you have an oil or not. Full breaths in. Long breath out. Using this breath as a way to arrive, to land, to settle, to become a little more present with how you are today, a little more present with your body, and a little more present with how it feels to breathe. If it feels good to, you might place one hand on the belly and one hand on the heart as a way to ground and as a way to greet the body. Feeling that gentle pressure from the hands if you've placed them on the body. Contact with yourself. Almost a sense of reassurance. This feeling of, I've got you. And you're giving that to yourself. A way of saying to your body, I'm here, I'm listening, I'm present with you. And find a pace of breath that feels natural, that isn't labored, that feels like it's no effort at all. Gentle breath in, gentle breath out. As we sit for a few moments, arriving, landing, releasing the day. As you breathe here in this soft space, you might ask yourself, what do I need from this practice? What would feel loving? What would feel compassionate? What do I need to support self-love and compassion? And if something arises when you check in with that, you might use that to form an intention for your practice, a sankalpa, something that you can carry with you throughout this practice, this time together. And if nothing comes forward, just know that it's enough to be here. It is enough to be here, taking this practice of deep rest as an offering of love and compassion to your body, to your soul, to your heart. It is enough to just be here now. If the hands are resting on the body, you might release them down. And we'll take a few breaths here, just encouraging softness through the jaw. You might let the lower jaw drop away from the upper jaw. You might relax through the shoulders and the belly. And we'll unite the palms at the heart. Start to rub hands together to create a little bit of energy between the hands, some warmth. And then you'll bring the hands up to the face, gently cupping the eyes. Maybe you notice the scent of the essential oil. Notice the darkness. And you'll gently blink eyes open now. Take hands away from the face. And then we'll make our way down to the earth for our first posture. So our first posture of this evening is a prone fallen tree pose. So it's on our bellies. So move your bolster or any other props that you might have on your mat away from the mats. And you're going to come to lie down on your belly. It might be really nice to put a blanket over your mat. I don't have one near me, but if I did and I was practicing, that's exactly what I'd do now. I'd put a blanket over my mat. I'd come to lie down on my belly. I'm going to create like a little pillow for my head, stacking one hand on top of the other. And then I'm going to rest my head, turning my head to one side, whichever side feels the most comfy. And then I'm going to start to bend my left knee. And my left knee will lift up as much or as little as feels comfy in my hip. So this is where the kind of tree pose part of it comes, is through this lifted leg. You might find it more comfy to pop a pillow underneath your head. You might equally find it more comfy for the knee if you popped a blanket or some soft support underneath your knee. And then we come to rest here on the earth, using this pose as a way to turn inwards at the beginning of our practice. And let the breath settle to a natural, steady, spontaneous pace. No control needed here. The most important thing is that you're comfy. So just take your time with it. Wiggle, fidget, find what feels good for you and your body. And then begin to land and soften. And once you've found what feels right, what feels good, you might think about the earth softening a little beneath you, almost as if the earth softens to receive your body so that the earth supports you here. This idea that Mother Earth can hold us, can support us, can nourish us through our connection to her. The whole front of your body touching Mother Earth, including your heart. And perhaps you bring awareness to your heart here, to the place where your heart meets the earth. Feel the connection between Mother Earth and your heart. And just as the trees do in the winter, they draw up what they need to sustain them through their roots. Maybe you might draw up from the earth what you needed from this practice this evening. Drawing up through that heart connection to earth, whatever it is that you needed. It might simply be nourishment, or it might be more specific. Allow yourself to fully receive here. Notice the breath in the back of the heart as you take 5 more breaths here. And after your fifth breath, you will straighten your left leg and then bend the right leg. So coming into this fallen tree with the other leg now. And perhaps turning the head the other way. And just like you did on the first side, take your time to get comfy, to get cozy. Let any wiggles move through you, any fidget. So that you can settle down here. Resting the whole front of your body on the body of Mother Earth. Feeling that energy that she provides that sustains life. And drawing that into your heart. Let everything soften here. Jaw, shoulders, hips, belly, soft. Bring awareness now to the back of the heart. Feel the next 5 breaths filling the back of the heart space, nourishing the back of the heart. And after your 5th breath, begin to extend the right leg long. And then you might gently start to lift the head and just take a little bit of movement for the head, feeling into the neck. And then you'll take the palms, push the palms down into the earth, and then send yourself back into a child's pose just for a couple of breaths. Sending sit bones towards the heels. Maybe the head lands on the hands again. If the head doesn't quite meet the earth, it's absolutely fine. We're not going to be here for any longer than 3 more breaths. After that 3rd breath, gently begin to rise. Take it nice and slow. Try and stay as soft as you can. And we come into a heart opening pose now. So if you're working with pillows, you might stack a couple of pillows up and then take one bed pillow and lay it on top of those other pillows. So you would stack up a couple of pillows horizontally and then stack your other pillow on top of them vertically. So you're kind of creating a lift at one end and then a lower space at the other end. If you're working with blocks or books, you're going to pop your blocks or books under the top end of your pillow or your bolster so that you've got a little ramp that you can lie down onto. You'll then turn your back to that little ramp and then you'll come to lie down on top of it. If you want to feel like the arms are kind of floating, you might also put pillows underneath each forearm. That can add like another layer of luxury to this pose. It can help take the weight out of the shoulders. We never want to scrimp or almost like get that feeling of like, oh, this will do. Go the extra mile for yourself. You are so worth it. Take the extra time to set up. And in the setting up of these poses is that act of self-love and self-compassion. We provide the safe, comfortable space to rest in. And this rest is something that so many of us need. So just as you do with all of the other poses, take your time to settle in. Give yourself a minute to wiggle, to fidget, and to just start to let go. Allow the breath to be gentle to be spontaneous but supportive. And you might even notice the rise and the fall of the chest at the heart space as you breathe. And if you're someone that likes to work with a visualization, you might visualize your favorite flower at your heart, the bud of your favorite flower. I always think that a peony or a rose is a really beautiful flower to visualize at your heart because of the way that the petals open. So you might imagine this bud of your favorite flower at your heart, and each breath that you take nourishes your heart. Each breath that you take is feeding your heart. And then in turn, it's feeding that beautiful flower that rests there. So that every time you breathe, that bud opens just a little more until eventually your heart, your flower, is blooming in its absolute fullest. It's overflowing with beauty, with nourishment. So if that visualization is something that you would like to work with, I invite you to really see what's there at your heart. A beautiful flower opening with each breath, a gift to your heart through the breath. Whole body soft, heart open. Notice if the body's carrying any sense of holding. What could you let go of? What could you release so that you could receive this practice of rest a little more deeply? So that you could offer your body a little more love, a little more compassion. Bring awareness to the flower in full bloom at your heart. Notice it there. Notice the color. Notice the texture of the petals. Notice the formation of the petals. And take 5 steady breaths into that place, into the heart. And after that 5th breath, you'll bring the soles of the feet to the earth. Feel the grounded connection between the earth and the soles of the feet here. And to come out of this posture, you might roll to one side, or you might take hold of the backs of the legs and draw yourself up to seated briefly. And this is where we will move our pile of props, move the blocks out of the way. Take your bolster or your bed pillows down to the feet end. So ideally you want this underneath where your knees are going to land. So the feet would step over it. And then you'll come to lie down on your back. Just have any additional props near you that are going to be nice and cozy and comfy. So like a pillow for your head, your blanket. We're going to take a twist. So just a bit of gentle twisting before we then move into our yoga nidra. And it will be really nice if perhaps you don't have to move too much in between these two postures. So come down to the earth, hug the knees into the chest. Give yourself a big squeeze here. Just holding yourself here for a breath or two, perhaps offering that same care and attention that you'd offer out when you hug someone. That feeling of love, of kindness, of grounding, reassurance. And then you'll take a breath in and drop the knees over to the right. They might come down to the earth, they might not quite, but just let the legs land somewhere nice and soft. And then open the left arm back behind you. You might anchor the legs with the right hand on top of the left leg. And we'll stay for 5 slow, steady breaths. On your next inhale, you'll come back through center. You'll squeeze yourself in again, holding yourself here tightly for a couple of breaths. Again, tuning into that loving energy that you offer out when you hug someone else. And it might be that you approach this moment thinking about what it is that you needed from this practice and offering yourself that through this tight squeezing in of your knees. Take one more breath here. And then drop your knees over to the left. Right arm comes out back behind you. Left hand might anchor down the legs through holding onto the top leg. And we'll take 5 slow, steady breaths here. Bring the knees back to center now. One more time, give yourself a hug. And then from here, this is where we now transition into our Shavasana pose. yoga nidra posture. For some people, it's going to be lying on your back. For others, it might be lying on your side. Other people might like to lie on their front. If your bed is near you and you'd like to get into your bed, that could also be really nice. This is a practice of yogic sleep, and you'll be guided through this beautiful long meditation that is so lovely to receive in the comfort of your bed. So if your bed is near and you want to hop in, please go ahead. Otherwise, find yourself comfy on your back, your side, or your front. Take a moment to breathe, move, sound, a few sighs, a few wiggles. You ultimately want to be comfortable and cozy. And we'll move through this practice of Yoga Nidra to the end of our time together. And I will let you know when this practice is over, and then I will end the call. So if you find that you've drifted off, don't be alarmed if when you come back around, if you wake up, that we're not here. Okay? All right, my darlings. Welcome to this practice of Yoga Nidra. This practice is fully guided, and you are so welcome to drift, to dream, to sleep, to rest, or to remain in any soft state that feels right for you in this moment. Bring your awareness to the sounds around you, to the sense of hearing. Notice what you can hear. Notice what you can hear without judgment, without the need to label the sound. Just noticing, nothing more. Now bring your awareness to the feeling of all the points of contact where your body meets the earth. Feel the softness of your body in contact with the steadiness of the earth. Bring awareness now to the center of your chest where your heart rests. And as you breathe, notice the gentle expansion of the chest on the inhale, and the contraction, the falling, the letting go of the chest on the exhale. Stay there for a few rounds of breath, feeling that inhale breath, filling the heart, and the exhale breath, encouraging softness in the body. slow the breath down just a little now. Taking a slower, longer inhale and an even slower exhale. Long, slow inhales, even slower exhales. If you're controlling your breath, let it go. Come back to a natural, gentle, spontaneous breath. And once again, rest the awareness at the heart. And with awareness at the heart, you might set an intention, a sankalpa, for this practice of Yoga Nidra. It might be the intention that you set at the beginning of our practice. It might be the thing that you needed from this practice. It might be nothing at all. It is enough to simply be here and receive this practice as an offering of love to the body. If you have an intention, hold it in your heart and repeat the word or phrase or affirmation to yourself 3 times now. Follow my voice as I guide you on a rotation of consciousness around your body. Place loving awareness at each place we land, an offering of love and compassion to the body in this practice of Yoga Nidra. Love and compassion to the forehead, to the eyes, left and right, and to the ears. Love and compassion to the left ear and to the right ear. Love and compassion to the cheeks, left cheek, right cheek. To the throat center, love and compassion to the throat center. The right collarbone, the right shoulder. the right upper arm, the right lower arm, the palm of the right hand, the thumb of the right hand, and all of the fingers of the right hand. Love and compassion to the whole right arm, the left collarbone, the left shoulder, the left upper arm, the left lower arm, the palm of the left hand, the left thumb, and all of the fingers on the left hand. Love and compassion to the whole left arm, to the heart. Love and compassion to the heart, to the left breast and the right breast. Love and compassion to the rib cage and to the belly. Love and compassion to the belly and the pelvis. Love and compassion to the pelvis, the right hip, the right buttock, the right inner thigh. Love and compassion to the right inner thigh. To the knee on the right leg, to the lower right leg, to the top of the right foot and all of the toes on the right foot. Love and compassion to the whole right leg. The left hip, the left buttock, love and compassion to the left inner thigh, to the left knee, the left lower leg, the top of the left foot, and all of the toes on the left foot. Love and compassion to the whole left leg, to the whole right leg. Love and compassion to the whole torso and the heart. Love and compassion to the heart, to the whole right arm and the whole left arm. love and compassion to the face, love and compassion to the whole body, to the whole body, to the whole body. Notice the feeling of the back of your body. Notice the feeling of the front of your body. Notice the feeling of your inhale. Notice the feeling of your exhale. Notice the contrast between your inhale and your exhale. Notice the feeling of your body resting on the earth, supported, held, nourished by the earth. Bring awareness into your heart. And if you set an intention, recall your intention now and repeat it to yourself 3 times. Perhaps now you start to take a slightly deeper breath, a more conscious breath, as you begin to tune in to the sounds around you. letting the awareness go outward in search of sound, in search of sensation, as this practice of Yoga Nidra has now come to an end. You are so welcome to stay in this restful place. But if you feel ready to, you might gently begin to invite a little bit of movement into the body. You might wiggle the fingers, the toes. You might stretch. You might snuggle into a ball on your side and remain there for a few rounds of breath. It has been my absolute pleasure to guide you through this practice. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day, and I really look forward to seeing you again soon. Thank you so much for joining me.